Kamala and little Timmy are desperately trying to leave Biden in the past. Walz only mentioned the president's name once last night. Joe's taking note, and he's not happy about it. Biden's reportedly fuming in private about being left on the sidelines. Quote, President Joe Biden has privately complained to allies that his name and his accomplishments have virtually disappeared from the national conversation, and about how quickly the party that he has served for more than 5 decades appears to have moved on from him. Biden has noted at times that Vice President Kamala Harris, who took his place at the top of the Democratic ticket in July, hasn't been mentioning him in her campaign speeches lately. Maybe Joe should stop worrying about getting credit for his presidency and maybe start getting involved in it. The country's dealing with 3 major crises right now, and we need leadership. Over 1 million Americans are still left without power in devastating flood conditions as the death toll climbs higher and higher.
Whoa!
Natural disaster response is complicated, but Joe and Kamala have been fundraising and sleeping on the beach, and now people are suffering. Hundreds of Americans are dead or missing.
We have people on oxygen that are completely out now. We have babies up there with no formula, nothing.
This is like a Katrina on steroids.
Well, right now we still have no power, no water. We've lost friends. There's been landslides. Our valley got wiped out.
We try to find our friends. We can't. We don't know
if they're dead or alive.
This is the 3rd deadliest hurricane in 55 years. It's right up there with Katrina and Sandy. And it looks like FEMA's only real national TV warning leading up to the storm was one cameo at a binder briefing just hours before landfall. Helene made landfall Thursday night, but it took Biden and Harris 5 days to visit. Bush got crucified for taking 4 days to visit Katrina. Obama was at Sandy on day 2. Trump was in Georgia on day 3. FEMA has apparently been there since Monday, but many people haven't seen them.
Let's go ahead and point out the obvious, which is that FEMA had utilized a large majority of the personnel who should be here taking care of this to be replaced or repurposed, if you will, for immigration resettlement when we need to be focusing on Americans.
Biden needs to give this recovery everything he has, but he waited until today to deploy soldiers. He's still completely clueless.
Nobody can deny the impact of climate crisis anymore. At least I hope they don't. They must be brain dead if they do.
Okay, he's out of his mind. Kamala also can't provide real solutions. She's tossing a few $100 at people who lost everything.
The federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met.
$750. Democrats sent checks for thousands of dollars during COVID, thousands. None of those people had their homes swept away by floodwaters. These people aren't her top concern. Her priority, number one, is making sure she looks like she knows what's going on. Look, they're just telling her where to walk, what to do when the cameras are rolling. Harris, Biden are facing crises here and abroad. Historic hurricane, massive port strike, has the potential to cripple the economy, and a worsening war in the Middle East. Former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, joins me now. Are they just overwhelmed, or do they not know what they're doing?
They're incapable of knowing what they're doing. If you watch, start for one, her first major decision on who to pick for the VP. The one thing that debate last night answered for me, why did she pick Tim Walz? He most reminds her of Joe Biden. That's the only other way I watched it. But this is a fundamental problem. You're sitting just 30-some days away before an election. You've got a major catastrophe inside America. This is not a partisan issue. How do you lead? How do you manage? They have failed time and again. I've been talking to a number of members who represent in North Carolina. I've never heard of such devastation. The one person they're praising right now is Elon Musk, that he has provided them with internet. And you watch, they said no one has been there. It's been a number of days, no electricity. It's been nobody there to relieve them. They are still searching for individuals.
When I saw Katrina, I covered it as a producer as it happened. We used to see this tape of these planes, these helicopters dropping in, rescuing people, pulling people out, survivors. I haven't seen any of that type of air support. Where's the air support?
Where's the leadership? Why aren't they in there? Why aren't they bringing people in there? And I will tell you, America's a very giving nation. People will want to volunteer, but right now it's purely individuals themselves on the ground. And people are trained to do this. If I was the president or the vice president, I would be stationed there. I would give up on my campaign. Your first responsibility is to your nation and those who are in need.
Kamala Harris throwing $750 at people who lost everything, their homes, their family, their cats, their dogs, everything. It's insulting. It's insulting, Congressman, to do that. And then for Joe to blame climate change, it's like people watch, they can't, thank God they can't watch this on TV. They don't have power. But if they did see it, I mean, they would make, it would just enrage them.
You're sitting there waiting for help. You can't see it on TV. The worst thing, if they did watch it, they say nobody's coming. But the worst part when you watch Kamala and the $750, she didn't even know how much it was. She had to read it. The only thing I saw that was new in there, that she had a new symbol on her jacket for vice president to try to look more presidential. The look presidential would be pre-prepared. You know when the storm hit Florida, where it was going. I was talking to one congresswoman today, Virginia Fox, 30 inches of rain in 24 hours. This is a once-in-a-100-year storm. This is where you should come in, be pre-prepared ahead of time, pre-positioned, but on the very next day, inside to save the lives. Now, how many people would we have lost that we could have saved?
Yeah, it was biblical. They saw it coming, didn't warn people enough, and weren't pre-positioned, and now people are dead or missing. It's really a scandal. That's what this is. This is a human and political scandal. Kevin McCarthy, thanks as always. Good to see you again. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.